Hello everyone and welcome to another video on JavaScript programming. Hope you guys are doing well. Kaushal this side from SimplyCode, and today we are going to discuss objects in JavaScript. Before we begin, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and press that bell icon to never miss an update from SimplyCode. Today we are going to discuss another kind of complex data type, that is objects in JavaScript. Objects are the most powerful and the most used data types in JavaScript. So far, we have seen that we can use a single variable to store a value. The value can be a string or a number or any other type of variable. After that, we have seen arrays in which we can store multiple values, like we can store lists in arrays. So let's take a scenario here, and let's say we have a piece of code. We are taking a variable, let's say var car manufacturer, and the value of this car manufacturer will be Audi, a string, right? Next up we have another variable. Let's say we have a variable car model, and the value of this will be, let's say, car from Audi is Q7. Then we have another variable, let's say where price of this car, and the price will be, let's say, $50,000 US. Alright. Next up we have a function. Let's say we are using a function that is all-wheel drive. So we are having a function all-wheel drive, the opening and closing curly braces for the body of the function, and inside this all-wheel drive function we are using document.write, and here what we will write, let's suppose this car comes with Quattro all-wheel drive. Quattro, I hope you guys are aware of this word quattro. It means that four-wheel drive. Next up we will call this all-wheel drive function here. So here's the data about a particular car from a particular brand Audi, right? So the car model is Q7 and the price of this car is $50,000 US. So these are the three different things we are storing for a car of a particular brand. Next up, we have a function which states the capability of the car. The function here is the all-wheel drive, which means that this car comes with four-wheel drive instead of general front-wheel drive or rear-wheel drive. So this function is the behavior of the car, right? It shows that the car is four-wheel drive. Things are pretty sorted here, right? We have the data about the car and a function associated with it. So let's save this. And we can see the output here. The car comes with Quattro all-wheel drive. So this is a basic piece of code, right? We have been through functions. We know how to use functions. We know how to call them. So that's quite easy for now, right? The problem occurs when we have a list of cars. Let's say that we have to maintain 100 different cars with all the data of car manufacturer. We have car model, price, and then we have different behaviors for different cars. Not all cars have the all-wheel drive property. So what we will do in such a case, where we have to use the same property again and again for 100 different cars or 100 different entities, we can copy paste this same piece of code repeatedly, and we have to change the value every time we copy paste it. So we have to change the variable name, the car manufacturer, the car model, and the price as well. Imagine we are doing this for a list of cars. Then it goes on and on. So this is the most inefficient way of tackling this problem, right? This is where the concept of objects come into play. These objects help us to bundle all these properties and attributes about one particular entity. If we talk about this particular example of a car, we can put all these properties and many other properties like car weight, we have car color, and so on together under one name and make it an object. Let's move on to the syntax for objects in JavaScript. We'll do it for this same program. We'll use objects. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the syntax for objects. So before we start, there are few ways in which we can create objects in JavaScript. We are going to discuss two different ways of doing so. The first one is the literal way, also known as the literal object way. So the syntax for literal object way goes like this. Let's say we are declaring a variable var car and curly braces. So these curly braces represent that this car variable is actually an object. Inside this, we will define all the car's properties, that is whatever data we want to store about the car, like car manufacturer, car model and price in this particular scenario. So let's use them here. So we have car manufacturer and the car manufacturer is Audi, right? Next up we have car model. Car model is Q7. Finally we have the price, which is $50,000. So you can identify the difference here inside the object, right? When we declare a variable, we usually use the equals to sign for assignment, but here in objects we use the colon and we are using commas here because we have some more properties. So these three are the properties. For this object car, we have three properties associated with it. We can also add this all-wheel drive function inside the object, and when we use this function inside the object, it will be called a method. Whenever we use a function inside a class or an object, so it is known as a method. Keep this thing in mind, guys. So that syntax is also a bit different when it comes to methods inside an object. The syntax for that will be, we have to write here all-wheel drive and we'll use the colon. Then it is a function, so we'll write here function with opening and closing round brackets and the body of the function. So what we want to write here is, we want this function to return the value, right? We want this function to return this value. So we'll copy it from here and we'll paste it here. So we want this function to return this value. So we'll write here return instead of document.write. Now this function will return this string that this car comes with a quattro all-wheel drive. So if you want to change this string a little bit, you can change, because we have already used this string in the previous program we did. So let's suppose we'll write here four-wheel drive. Now this will be easier for you to understand this. So this is what an object looks like. Our object is entirely ready. What we did here is we bundled all these things and coupled them. We bundled all these things. We bundled all the three variables. We bundled this function. We bundled all of them together inside a single variable. And now this particular variable car is an object. Now if we want to access these properties of the object, like car manufacturer, car model, etc., whatever properties we have here, so what we have to do is we have to use document.write. So it is quite simple. So after this object, we'll write here document.write, and to access this object, what we have to do is we have to use the object name with the dot operator and the property name. So if we want to, let's suppose we'll use here car dot and the property name will be car underscore manufacturer. So here is the syntax. The syntax is quite easy. You can see here we have used the car object with the dot operator, and then we have the property name, whatever property we want to access. So let's save this program now and see. Here it says Audi. By using this dot operator, we can access any property of the car. Not just a property, we can access the method as well. So if we want to access the method, like if we want to access this all-wheel drive function, we can do it simply by writing here car dot, and we'll write here, instead of this, we'll write here all-wheel drive, and we are good to go. So if we save this now, so here you can see it says this car comes with four-wheel drive. So it is quite easy to access these properties of an object. So we can do it by using this. Now suppose we call this function normally with the document.write inside the function in place of return. So if we write here document.write, it's normal, like how we normally call a function. So if we write here document.write inside this function, and we can call this function by the normal method. Like if you are calling this function from outside, what we'll do, we'll write here car dot and the function name. So if we save this now, here you can see the string is printed on the browser. This car comes with four-wheel drive, and you can see here we didn't use any H1 tag or H2 tag, so you can spot the difference, right? So that's how you can call a method of an object from outside. This is the normal way. So now you guys might be wondering, what if we want to add more cars into this? We can copy paste it again to do so and change the value of properties again. It is the same thing we can do with the variables. So this is where the following way of creating objects come into the picture, in which we use something different known as object constructor. That's a bit different from other object-oriented programming languages. So don't worry if you don't know about it. Also, in the newer versions, JavaScript supports the concept of classes and objects. So what we used to say earlier is JavaScript is an object-oriented scripting language because it does not support the concept of classes and objects fully. But now the scenario has changed. JavaScript do support the concept of classes and objects, but we'll keep it a bit simple. So let's comment this code as well, and we'll use this code for reference. So we'll comment this, that's why we are not removing it, but we can remove this piece of code. So let's remove it and let's move on to use a second way of creating an object. Now we will create multiple objects using a single template, which is known as a constructor function. Let's have a look at the syntax for this method. So we'll write the function keyword, and we have named this function as cars, and in parentheses we will provide the properties as parameters. So these are the properties. We have car manufacturer, we have car model, and we have car price. So these are the properties which we used in the previous code as well. So here we have also used these properties, so we'll keep it that way only. Now inside a function, these parameters are known as arguments. So if we talk about the naming convention, so these parameters are known as arguments. So let's move on to the body of the function, and inside the body we will use this keyword here. This keyword refers to the object it belongs to. So here in this program, this will refer to the object basically. So what we are doing here is, whenever we are creating any object using this constructor function, we will pass specific values like the car manufacturer, car model, and the price, all of these values. So all these values will be present at the RHS. So let me write this first. Let's say we are using this dot and the property name car manufacturer. We'll write here car manufacturer. So all these values will be present at the RHS, and the actual property of the object will be this dot car manufacturer. So this is the actual property of this method. You will understand it much better when we create the object. For now, let's mention here the other two properties and method as well. So let's use the other two properties, which were this dot car model, and we'll write here car model. The last one was this dot price. We'll write here price. Let's add the method here as well inside the constructor function. We'll use this keyword again to add the method. The syntax will go like this. We'll use this dot all-wheel drive, and this is a function. So we'll write here function with the opening and closing round brackets, and then we have the body of the function. Inside the body of this function we will write whatever we have written in the previous program. So we'll copy it from here and we'll paste it here. Right, so this is a complete constructor function. Now using this constructor function, we can create multiple objects of this car type. So this constructor function works like a template, or like the classes work in other languages like C++ and Java. So let's create an object here. So we'll create a variable here. Let's say we are creating a variable C1. Now we'll use the new keyword and along with the constructor function. So we'll use here cars, and we'll pass the values for all the three properties. So here you can say we have the car manufacturer as Audi, and next up we have the model as Q7 and the price is 50,000. Okay, so we have created a variable, we have passed the values for the properties, and now if we want to access this function, if we want to access this all-wheel drive function, we can access this as well. We have to write here c1 dot all-wheel drive, and this is how you can call a function. If we save this program, see here it says this car comes with 4-wheel drive. So if you change anything here, let's suppose we are using here h2 tag. If we save this program now, see you can see the change here. So we are calling this function here and this will be printed on the browser. So this string will be printed on the browser. Let's create another variable here. Let's say we are using var c2, and the syntax will be same for this as well. We'll write here new cars and we'll pass the values here. So let's say we are using BMW, and next up we have the model as X7, and the price of this car is, let's say, 40,000. Okay, 40,000 USD. So if we want to access any particular property of any object, like if we want to access the car model or if we want to access the car manufacturer, so we can do it the same way as we did previously, as we did in the literal object way. So to do so, we have to write here document.write, and it was quite simple. So we have to write here the object name dot and whatever we want to print. Let's say we are printing here car model. So if we save this now, you can see here X7 is printed on the browser because X7 is the value of object C2. And let's suppose if we want to print here car manufacturer, save it, and see here you can see we have BMW as the output on a browser. Similarly, we can access the price as well. Let's save it now and see here it says 40,000. So this is how we can create multiple objects in JavaScript. We'll continue with the previous program we made. So today we will use the literal object way because this method of creating objects is a bit easier than the other one we discussed, which was the constructor function method. So here we created the car object, which has three properties: car manufacturer, car model, and the price of the car. We have a method here as all-wheel drive. When we use this method here, we use this method with the dot operator and we call that function, we call that method with the help of the object. So the output was this car comes with 4-wheel drive. So this was something we did in the previous video. If we talk about objects in JavaScript, a lot of things we know about in JavaScript are basically objects, like the Boolean values, numbers, strings, and a few more. So many of these things can be objects if we define them with the new keyword. Basically, any of the data type other than the null and undefined can be converted to objects, or they have their equivalent object forms if we define them with the new keyword. So we have a few predefined objects as well. We have the math object, the date object, and the regular expression are also considered objects in JavaScript. A lot of things are objects in JavaScript. We'll use objects in DOM manipulation, which we will go through in further videos. So that's why it is pretty essential to understand the whole concept of objects, right? So next up, let's look at how we can use different data types as objects in JavaScript. So the syntax for using the basic data types as objects in JavaScript goes like this. We'll declare a variable first. We have a variable str1, and next up we'll write here the new keyword and the data type. So string is our data type which we will be using as objects for now. So this is the complete syntax of how to use a data type as an object in JavaScript. If we'll write here str1 and we'll use the dot operator, so here we can see we have the object methods as well, right? So I hope you guys are aware of the methods present in JavaScript. Like we had the string and array methods, right? We have methods for object as well, like the index of method. We have seen the use of index of method when we went through the string methods in JavaScript. So similarly, we have the font color and the length property for object as well. So length here is the property, and other which we can see are the methods for objects in JavaScript. So here this str1 becomes the object by default when we use the new keyword with the string while declaring. So there are few ways to determine if a variable is an object or a primary data type. So the easiest way to do so is to use the type of operator. So let's use it here and check the type of variable str1. We'll write here document.write and we'll print the type of this variable. So we'll use the type of operator and the type of variable str1. So let me put it inside the h1 tag. So here we have written a type of operator. So let's print this value on the browser. If we save it, see here you can see it says object. If we write a string here in place of this new string, so if we write here any string, let's suppose we are using a string here. Let's say we are using hello. Okay, let's save it now, and here you can see the type of this variable str1 changed from object to string. So this is the difference between a primitive data type. It was a string earlier, but when we use it with the new keyword along with the string, and this is the basic syntax of how to define a primitive data type as an object. So if we save it now, here you can see it is converted to object. Similarly, we can use the other basic data types as well, and the other predefined objects we talked about, like the date object and the math object, we'll go through each of them in separate videos. So moving on, let's go back to our car object. After we declared the whole object, we defined all the three properties and the method also. Somewhere in the program, we realized that we had missed a particular property, and we realized it after we have written 150 lines of code after this car object. So here you can say we have written here 150 line of code. So I'm not writing 150 lines, but let's do it this way. So we realized it after 150 lines. In JavaScript, we can add a particular property to an object outside the definition also. We can add a property to an object anywhere in a program. The syntax for that goes like this. We'll write the object name with the property name along with the dot operator. So we'll write here one more property. Let's say we are using car color, and the value of this property will be, let's say, black, right? What this line will do is it will add one more property inside this existing car object. So initially we had three properties. Now this line will add one more property to this car object. We are using the same name, that is the object's name having three properties over here. We are using the same object name here. You can see here the object name is car, and here we have also used the car object name. Now we have added one more property to this object car. We can check it. Let's print it out on the browser. So what we will do, we'll write here document.write. So here you can see we have used the document.write method to print this car color on our browser. So we have used here car.carColor. Let's save this program now and see. Here you can see the output is black. So this is the property of the object car now. And if we comment this line, let's say if we are commenting this line, let's save this now and see. Here you can see it says undefined. We can add more properties similarly. Like if we want to add another property here, we can go like car dot and the property name, whatever property we want to add. Let's say we want to add fuel type. So it can be a petrol car or a diesel car or an electric car. It doesn't matter. So we can add properties as well. In fact, we can add methods as well. So the syntax to add method goes like, we can add a method here. We'll see it will go like car dot. Let's say we are adding a new function. Let's say we are adding the function new fun equals to, and here we will write function. So the body of the function. Now whatever we want to write inside the function, let's say this function return function successfully added. So if we try to call this function from outside, we can do it. So let's try to check out the output for this function. Let's say we want to access this particular function. So save it now, and here you can see it says function successfully added. So the new method we added is the new fun, and we added this method to our pre-existing object, which was the car object. So I hope you guys are aware of how to add a new property or a new method to an existing object by now. What if we want to delete a particular object? So it's pretty easy to do so in JavaScript. We can use the delete keyword, object name and the property name after the dot operator. Let's suppose we want to delete car model here. We want to delete this particular property of the object car. So what we'll do, we'll delete this car model. So the syntax for it is quite simple. So we'll remove this for now and we'll delete a property. Let's say we are using the delete keyword with the object name dot method name or the property name. So we'll delete here car model, right? Let's save it now. So this particular line will delete the car model attribute of this car object. Let's check it out and we will print here the car model. So we'll write here car underscore model and save it now. So here you can see it says undefined, and if we try to comment this line and now if we try to save this program, so here you can see the car model is Q7. So this is how we can delete a particular property or a particular method from an object. One more thing before we wrap up this video is, as we all know, JavaScript is a loosely typed language, right? So we can change the data type of these properties on the fly. Now we will change the data type of this property. We had the price property, right? So we'll change the data type of this particular property now. We know that the value of the price property is a number. Let's change this number to a string data type. What we have to do is we have to write here car dot price and update the value here. Let's say we are using 70,000 and we have to put here semicolon. It's the same thing we do to update the value of a particular variable, right? So if we try to print the value of price now, we'll get the output as 70,000. Let's try to print it on the browser. So we'll cut it from here, we'll paste it here and we will print car price. Save it now. See, here you can see it says 70,000. If we want to check the type of this property, what we can do is we can use the type of operator. So we'll use the type of operator. So this is the syntax of how we can use the type of operator. Let's save this now and see, here it says string. Earlier it was a number, but now it is a string. So all these things can be done dynamically in a program wherever we want to do them. So that's the benefit of having objects in JavaScript. So that's all for this video, guys. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. If you have any doubts, do let us know in the comments. Share it with your friends and don't forget to subscribe Simply Code. Thank you.